episode 9 of Hugo Builds. It's December 1st today. Our Movember campaign just ended and we raised a crazy amount of funds. I think we were at like 2,200 or something last time I checked. So thanks so much for everyone that donated. That's going to a really good cause. So in this episode, we will take a look at some electrical, and then I think we'll go over some of the challenges we've had building the house so far. It's been fairly stressful, and I'd want to share for anybody trying to build their own house. I think it's super attainable, and maybe with a bit of advice you can do a better job than I did. But before we roll the intro, there's something I want to take care of. This is getting pretty annoying, so. Oh, geez, that feels a lot better. Alright, so the guys are outside working now. We'll take a look at that, then we'll get to the electricals. Alright, what's going on everybody? Like I told you yesterday, today is going to be all about electrical. So my buddy here, Matt, is a licensed electrician, and he's going to help me out, kind of do the whole thing, and then we'll get another electrical contractor to come do the the main service and panel work. So today what we'll be doing is just laying out all the electrical boxes to start, and then we might get to some wiring, but essentially, just now we just brought all the boxes in and we laid them out just kind of in the rough position that they'll be, so that we can have a good workflow once we start. So take a look at some of the details here. Alright, like I said, this is my buddy Matt Laurin. He's an electrical contractor and he'll be helping me out with this. So he'll tell you a little bit about what these kind of plastic boxes are.
This is a 2104 box for an electrical outlet. As an outside wall, you always want to put a vapor barrier. So you can either use vapor barrier or a vapor box on an outside wall. So you want to isolate your boxes prior to closing the walls. So when the other contractors are coming in to close the walls, all you have to do is tape around. So you would put in your vapor box, your plug on, either nail it or screw it, and that's it.
Hey guys, alright, so I wanted to take a little break from doing the electrical to kind of address some challenges we've had with the house so far. So I'll try not to ramble on, but so far I've edited the videos to be kind of pretty rosy and very upbeat, and that kind of shows just who I am. I'm a very positive guy, maybe sometimes naive, which is probably why I threw myself into this project, but it hasn't been all great so far. There's definitely been some challenges, and I think these are kind of the same challenges that everyone's gonna face when you're trying to build a home. And I'm definitely no genius. I'm sure plenty of you out there are much smarter than me and can handle this much better, but I'll just kind of talk to you today about the challenges I've faced so far. I think the main one has been the fact that I work full-time, so I'm not home at all times, and I took the responsibility of kind of being the construction manager, or even the general contractor. So I'm the one supplying all the materials in most cases, and essentially when stuff is missing or the contractors doing the work need some guidance, they have to call me and I have to figure that out and when I'm not at home, that has to be dealt with in the evenings or on the weekends, and it takes up a lot of time on top of a full-time job. So that's been a really big stress for me. I wouldn't recommend taking on a project like this if you're not really good at handling stress, because this whole process, although absolutely super rewarding, has been extremely stressful, I gotta say. I used to sleep like a baby, and kind of these past few weeks, just dealing with a lot of things that come up has gave me some sleepless nights. So I'm still toughing, don't get me wrong. I'm having a great time, and I feel super lucky to be doing this. I mean, I'm pretty young. I feel blessed that I had the opportunity to build a house, and I've been kind of dreaming of this my whole life, and the fact that I'm able to do this so early, because we got pretty lucky with having a lot that can be subdivided, and essentially I got a free piece of land, which is what allowed me to start this process. The second thing has been kind of the scheduling and coordinating, which ties into not being at home. It's very difficult to schedule everything, coordinate everything with everyone, and know the scope of work of what each contractor is doing. So I would recommend that you double check every contract, ask a lot of questions to the contractors that are doing the work to make sure you know exactly what they're doing, because it's happened so far that one guy will finish off at X point, and then the other starts a bit further, and that little part in the middle should have been completed, and I end up kind of having to finish off that work, or call in someone to do it, and then that's extra money that wasn't considered when we were originally budgeting. So the budgeting was done prior to all this, but essentially stuff doesn't quite pan out exactly how we want it all the time. So there's definitely been some money issues as well, and that's probably going to be the third main challenge, is essentially that the way that the bank gives you the money for a construction loan is extremely kind of confusing and stressful in some cases, where you have to use your own money to front load. So essentially we got a loan off the value of the land to begin, and then you have to get to a certain point, and the bank gives you installments of that money. So they send an appraiser, he comes to take a look at where you're at so far, and then they give you money based on that. And in our case, we just weren't as far as I'd hoped, so they gave me a little bit less money. So that's a big stress for kind of the next few weeks to figure out how we're going to go. So luckily I was able to kind of figure something out to get a little bit more liquid money, so we can just keep paying the guys, keep buying stuff. But that has been a huge source of stress. So be aware of these problems. Have fun while you're doing it. It's a super rewarding experience that I would recommend to anybody who's wanting to build their own house. But just keep in mind that there will be some challenges, and there will be some major stresses, and I wasn't expecting that at all in my kind of naivete. But here we are. I think that does it for all the challenges. There have been many more, and I'll try to share more, and I'll try to give you guys a more kind of nitty-gritty of what we are actually doing, rather than kind of just show you the process at the end. So back to the electrical. I think I'm running Ethernet wire. So as far as this internet wire goes, it's called Cat 6, category 6E. Essentially you can run kind of TVs, telephone, internet on this. We want this to be kind of as modern as possible, so I bought a box of essentially it's 1,000 feet of Cat 6. I got my plugs here for the TV. This is the living room here. These are going to be run a little bit differently than the rest of the wiring. I'm actually going to run these up and then through the ceiling joists all the way down, and then in the mechanical room downstairs we'll have what we call a switch. So essentially this is just a box where all the internet wire goes, and then that plugs into the router and feeds the rest of the house. So I'm going to run a few of these. We'll start by this one. I'll show you how this one's done, and hopefully you can wire your own house at the end of this. Internet is super simple, but it's better to do it while the walls are open, because it's a huge pain if the walls are closed. So let's get started. So we're actually going to be running 2 cables to this TV box here. So essentially we're going to go up, I'm going to drill here in the top stud, and then we'll be in the open cavity. I'll just run this right to this little hole here so that we don't have to pierce the sides of the joist, which you're not supposed to do. And essentially we're just going to go straight down following that hole all the way down. So we'll start by drilling the hole. What's going on, guys? Alright, that loud hum you hear is the big kerosene heater we have upstairs. We also have a propane heater running downstairs because the guys are finishing up the HVAC. They should be done today. I'm actually going to end this video here. I think this one's drawn out long enough. We've faced a lot of challenges. Some more happened in the past few days with the windows and stuff. I'll talk to you guys about that in the next video. But we are trekking on in the cold. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Hit that little bell button if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video. So